All right, Shalom. We'd like to start off by saying, Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harikakwadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and my elder Heroin as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, this is Kalak Amba Yashara from the Lions Den of Yashara camp, and this is another Lions Den news and prophecy. And I want to start it out with this scripture right here. And the scripture reads is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. It says, For lo, I will rise up and cause to come up against Babylon, Slakia, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man, and none shall return in vain. All right. So now that is, I brought that scripture out to coincide with this news article right here that reads, it says, U.S. must be ready for simultaneous wars with China and Russia, reports say. All right. So now, this word right here in Jeremiah 59 is an assembly, right? And that word is quahal, and it means assembly, company, congregation, convocation, assembly for evil counsel, war, or invasion. Right? So, so as an organized body, so the Lord is gathering an assembly of nations, right, from the north, to assemble themselves against Babylon the Great, which is America, United States of America. All right. So now in the article, it says in land from the north, right? And the article says, United States must be ready for simultaneous wars with China and Russia. All right. So that north country is talking about is Russia. All right. So simultaneous, right? Let's get uh, uh, that definition. All right. It says basically it's plain and simple at the same time. So fighting on multiple fronts. That's what America's going to have to do, right? And we all know that America is spiritually Nineveh, okay? And Nineveh had to do the same thing, fight a war on multiple fronts. You had the Babylonians. I'm not sure if it was Nebuchadnezzar or but you had the Babylonians, and I think you had the Medes that had a hand in the fall of Nineveh. If somebody could put it in the description, correct me if I'm wrong. But I do know that Nineveh had to fight. The Assyrians had to fight on multiple fronts, right? I remember the elder Aharawan doing a lesson upon that. So think about if the United States is spiritually Nineveh, right? You know how the Lord is setting it up, using the signs in the past to dictate and predict the future, because it was spoken by Yahweh by Shem Shai. And this is how the fall of Babylon is going to be. All right. So now the article reads, it says the United States must prepare for possible simultaneous war with Russia and China by expanding its conventional force, strengthening our alliance, and enhancing its nuclear weapons modernization program. A congressionally appointed bipartisan panel said on Thursday. Okay, so now it's not only going to be the United States. It's not Slovakia. It's not only going to be just Russia and China. It's going to be a numerous amounts of nations rising up against Babylon the Great, which is America. One of those nations is Iran. We all see the situation going on in Israel with Hamas. All right, another one is what's it called? North Korea. You know, so just to name a few. But this is ultimately going into the Ezekiel 38, where Yahweh Shem Shai is going to rise up the old Soviet Union and have the Soviet Union reform itself, right? And then, but accompanied by other countries, and Russia being a guard to those other nations, right? So now we're witnessing the destruction and fall of Babylon the Great, which is the United States of America. So now, what exactly does that mean? Because um, you have a lot of people that are in denial, right? Witnessing the things that are going on, but they want to just act like it's gonna fly past or it's never gonna really happen. But it's gonna happen because Yahweh Shem Shai said it's gonna happen. All right, His word shall not return unto Him void. You know, and we're witnessing the destruction, the fall of America. Come sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. There's no more throne for thee. They shall be no more be called tender and delicate, man, because the Lord said so. All right, it says the report from the Strategic Posture Commission comes amid tensions with China over Taiwan and other issues worsening frictions with Russia over its invasion in Ukraine. And ultimately, understanding that invasion of Ukraine is really Russia fighting against the West. Okay, there's a couple more articles I want to do. I don't know if I'm gonna get to them today, but yeah, um, we're witnessing Yahweh Shema Shai bring this country down, man. Um, and rising up the children of Israel, His chosen people. It's beautiful. All right, it says and we ultimately know the invasion of Ukraine is Russia with warring with the West, the United States, and NATO. All right, it says a senior official involved in the report declined to say if the panel's intelligence briefing showed any Chinese and Russian nuclear weapons cooperation. It says we worry there may be ultimate coordination between them in some way, which gets us to this two-war construct, the official said on condition of and anonymity. It says the findings would unpin current U.S. national security strategy calling for winning one conflict while deterring another to require huge defense spending, increase with uncertain congressional support. Right, because they're arguing about other spending and what they're going to do with other money dealing with uh, government funding and things like that. The last thing they want to do is dump a bunch of dollars in military defense. Remember when Trump came into office, they cut like 60% of military defense funding. All right, so and then with the depreciation of the dollar, they ain't gonna really have no money to spend to bring forth war or to go to war. It says we do recognize budget realities, but we also believe the nation must take these investments. Right. So it's gonna be an argument back and forth between the House and the Senate, Democrats and Republicans on how they're going to spend this funding. And with America's economy declining the way it is, and so much things happening on the soils in America, and from an economic standpoint, they're going to be trying to stretch this money out as as far as possible. So it'll be a real big dent if they had to create a budget, right, that brings in a whole bunch of military spending that they don't really have. Right, so they're going to have to rely on the alliances with these other nations that are allies to the United States, which are pretty soon going to be no longer become allies or no longer going to be allies with the United States because the Lord is turning everybody against the United States, man. Babylon. It says we do recognize budget realities, but we also believe that the nation must make these investments. The Democratic chair um, Madeline Creedon, a former deputy head of the agency that oversees U.S. nuclear weapons, and the vice chair, John Kyle, a retired Republican senator, said in the report's preface. It says the report contrasts with President Joe Biden's position that the current United States nuclear arsenal is sufficient to deter the combined forces of Russia and China. That's a lie because Russia and China, I want to say, have the most nuclear weapons. Um, I know Russia's number one. Who has the most nuclear weapons in the world? Okay, so it's Russia this first with 6,257. Um, and then the United States is next, and then China is right behind the United States. Um, but yeah, so with that being said, America does not by itself have enough to deter Russia and China. They might have enough to deter just China alone, but not Russia alone, not China, not Russia and China. All right. It says the United States and its allies must be ready to deter and defeat both adversaries simultaneously. The Strategic Posture Commission said the United States-led international order and the values it upholds at a risk from the Chinese and Russian authoritarian regime. It says Congress established the panel of 6 Democratic and 6 Republicans in 2022 to assess threats to the United States and recommend changes in the United States conventional and nuclear forces. The Chinese and Russian threats will become acute in the two in the 2027 to 2032 timeframe. So decisions need to be made now in order for the nation to be prepared, said the 145th page of the report. Now, if that's the case, right? If that's the case, that they need to be ready, they're calculating that they need to be ready by 2027, between 2027 and 2035. The way things are going up right now, if that's the timeline they're looking at, it looks like the Lord is moving things a lot more quicker than that. So with that being said, um, if things are moving more quicker on the Yahweh Shem Shai's timeline, then the United States doesn't stand a chance. The United States does not stand a chance at all. All right. It's. I mean, they have to be ready now because at any given moment somebody can start pressing these buttons and send these nukes off. That's how intense the war is getting. Understanding that there's certain things that need to happen first before all out nuclear war happens. We still have to, the MOTB still has to be implemented. A couple prophecies have to come to pass according to what I'm saying, Yahweh Shem Shai, all right, and his word and his will. So if their timeline is looking like that, this is ultimately the land of unwalled villages. They don't have the defense that they need with the judgment that's coming to this place. All right. It says the report said. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. The report said the 30-year United States nuclear arms modernization program, which began in 2010 and was established in 2017 to cost $400 billion by 2046, must be fully funded to upgrade all warheads, the delivery systems, and infrastructure. It should also extend its operational lives of ballistic missiles, submarines, and deploy more tactical nuclear weapons in Asia and Europe. Okay. All right. So now, these are all the things um that the Lord is putting together against Babylon, right? So now they're talking about all the things that America needs to do to be able to sustain with what's to come. Right? So let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 10. It says, and the Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. And that's what they're bringing this place down to the dust. All right. It says, verse 11 says, because ye were glad, because ye rejoice, O ye destroyers of my inheritance. Who is the inheritance of the Lord? The children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the speckled bird that's scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. That may look like these other nations, but their bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the children of the promise. All right, it says, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellows at bulls. Right? So America grown fat with the manipulation of these countries using the dollar. And with the persecution of the children of Israel, because let me get Habakkuk. Because this United. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. It says, oh no, this started verse 9. Habakkuk 2 and 9. It says, woe to him that coveteth an evil covetous to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Right. So they prop themselves up to try to escape the judgment that's to come and all the hell that they're bringing on earth. You know, they prop themselves up for and thinking that because they lift themselves up on the earth and lift themselves up in their pride, that they're going to be protected from the evil to come. But the scriptures say, hell from beneath is moved to meet they're coming. So the Lord is stirring up this hell with these other nations, right, to bring judgment on Babylon. Okay, so now it says, woe to them that covenant evil cousins against his house, and that's Esau. All right, and it says, thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many nations and sin against thy soul. All right, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, because they wax fat through slavery and the dollar. All right, and this system they set up called America, this business, this corporation, says, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. So all this stuff that they built together, right? That they put to put America on this pedestal, all right, as this princess tender and delicate, you know, sitting in America, the United States up on this throne. Everything is going to be a witness against them when Yahweh Shem Shai shows up. It says, verse 12, it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city with iniquity, man. And that's how the United States was established, this great, vast city. That's how it was established, you know. All right. So now, because of that, all the evidence against this place, the Lord got a judgment for this people, for this place. All right. Going back to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 11, it says, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of my inheritance. Right. And because you have grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellows as bulls. Right. So now how did they grow fat? Off the slavery, you know? So that's why the stone shall cry out and the beam of the wall shall answer it. So everything that we've done off the back, everything that was done off the back, blood, sweat, and tears of our ancestors that were brought over here on slave ships is going to be a witness against this devil in this place. All right. Destruction unto a town that's built off blood and iniquity. All right. On Jeremiah 50 and 12, it says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Right. Because ultimately, the foundation, the dragon, is going to be the nations that form as the dragon, right? Are going to be like the European Union are going to turn and hate the whore. They shall turn and hate the whore and burn her with fire and make her the most desolate, man. So they're going to be confounded with the United States, and they're going to turn their back on the United States. All right. So Britain is the mother of America. So it says the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Okay. And it says, verse 13 says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her because of her plagues. Right? And what is one of the plagues that's being brought up against Babylon? These nations, man. All right. And it says, verse 14, this is the point. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. Going back to the topic, the title of the lesson of the article, it says, United States must be ready for simultaneous wars with China and Russia. So now, going back to Jeremiah 15:14, Slakia, it said, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. Yourselves, not self, selves. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord. So all these nations that got nuclear weapons, let me see. All these nations that got nuclear weapons, let's run down this list. All day that bend the bow, all of them. All right, so you got 9 countries that have that are reported to have nuclear weapons. All right. Okay, so all we're gonna read all we're gonna exclude the United States. So it's just gonna be 8 countries. All right, so you have Russia, China, France, United Kingdom, Pakistan, India, Israel, and North Korea. And Iran should be on that list. This article might be a little bit outdated, but Iran has ramped up their uranium so they can bring forth nuclear missiles also and nuclear technology. And they've been getting some other supplies from I want to say China. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But going back to Jeremiah 50 and 14, it says, "Put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, all them that have missiles, shoot at her. Spare no arrows, for she has sinned against the Lord." So the Lord wants every single missile to be shot off at this place. Scripture says it's going to be 200 million ICBMs that's hit this place. All right. Verse 15, close it out. It says, "Shoot against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down." Right, because they don't even have the money to fight. They're working on budget funding to support the military defense system. They're trying to negotiate how they're going to spread funding in Congress right now. All right, it says, "Shoot against her round about. She have given her hand. Her fornications are fall. Her foundations are fallen. Slakia. Her walls are thrown down." Because this is the land of unwalled village. All right, it says, "For it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Take vengeance upon her as she has done, do unto her." So how America has been bullying all these other nations. That's the hell that's going to be risen up beneath them to meet them at their coming, man. And it's all being done by Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, Lord, willing this lesson was edifying to serve this purpose with that. Allah said, "Ka halayim la Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Havakah Kodash Ma'amah." Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing this truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.